Yeah. If I die tomorrow, I hope you hear these words. I ain't here to flip no birds or sip no serve. Hope the future generations can get this urge. Stay woke, youngin', and avenge these nerds.
Yo, the sounds of the Bronx are alive and well in my background.
It's summer in the Bronx.
It's barely summer, man.
Yeah, we get warm weather. We can't control ourselves.
My bad, guys. It's gonna be a long night. If this
gotta come to the burbs, man.
You're asking for too much. You're asking for way too much right now.
Well, wait. Does that go? You want me to?
You're doing that.
Okay,
part.
I'll do that part.
Intro. That's like.
Fuck it, we're doing it live.
Okay, we're doing it live. This is live. So, welcome, guys, to Nerds of the Round. This is your host, Sebastian.
It's your boy, Law.
And your boy, Tone, from across the hall.
And we are live here on a Tuesday night, as always, here, loving you guys. And also, to celebrate 200 subscribers, when you go to that description on YouTube, make sure you guys check that description because I put a free comic and 4 free digital prints in there for you guys. Check it out. That's our way of saying thank you. Thank you. Free shit. Make sure you guys are checking out the Nerds Network in the description too after the show to check out all the other dope podcast streamers. Yada. Everyone who we seen them on the show, haven't seen them on the show. Everyone who we want to throw our support behind. Make sure you have your wallets ready because May 18th. The Penguinos Kickstarter starts. Robert Powers' awesome Kickstarter book, Penguino. You've seen him on the show last week. You're seeing him do the media rounds. He's actually going to be on the Mighty Pong this Friday. So make sure, again, you have your wallets ready. Follow the Nerds of the Round on TikTok. We are on TikTok now.
Yes. The whole crew is like kind of getting on TikTok.
We are everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are. Please.
I'm not, but we are.
We are.
Listen, your Instagram consists of you smoking a cigar looking like fucking awesome. That's it.
Sure.
That's all people needs to go to the Instagram for is Tone smoking a cigar looking like a G.
Sure.
Next up, we have May 22nd, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Drink and Draw. We will be here 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time doing a drink and draw. Our DM, who you're going to get to meet, Tommy, is actually hosting a D&D one-shot game. Unfortunately, guys, it has filled up, but we are going to do more, and we're going to pretty much do more of this during MBionCon when we get you back with that information. And finally, yeah, that's about it. Subscribe to the Twitch and YouTube channel. Just keep subscribing, guys. And yeah, we are now here on the show. Like, what's up, guys?
So we are here today talking D&D.
Yes.
The D&D hype train has hit us and ran with us over the last year.
Wait. Before you get into that, yes, Robert Powers drew an awesome Nightcrawler Hulk mashup.
His mashups are incredible.
Bro, I want to see a collab piece, no lie, between him and Turk. Like, those are my two favorite mashup people right now, and that would be amazing. But getting back into it, we are doing a
we should commission him to do our D&D characters.
You just gave him ideas. That's
it. I mean, I'm here for it.
Let's do this.
Hey, what's goody, Larice? No vaccine for D&D. Absolutely not. We have all became, in one way or another, dice goblins, character creators, DMs in some rights. We have this one over here. He did his first DMing like a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago now.
Me?
He did.
Me?
But with us today, we have our lovely DM for multiple campaigns, but you guys know the most from our Collateral Damage campaign. We have the one, the only, our bearded DM, Tommy. What's going on?
Cha-cha.
Welcome back to the show. And then with us, we have another one of our favorite players, master craftsmen. Like, this man puts the world on his back. This is why he has his namesake. Let's give it up for Atlas.
There he goes.
There he is. Oh, look at you.
Holding the dice in his fingers.
Fancy as shit.
What is this?
Okay. I dig it. So
I see what you're trying to do here.
Listen. If you guys want to show off the shiny math rocks, we can just sit there and do that.
Oh my god, it's like a fucking ridiculous pissing contest.
One I would probably lose, but still, I like my dice.
So we kind of know this already, so I'm gonna skip the first question. Well, I'll ask it to bring it up. What was the first character you built versus the latest character you've played or built? And I will start with we'll go in the initiative order because we had them roll initiative before we started. So somebody I would argue that at least 2 people out of this panel right now has to put those dice in dice jail. But Tommy, are you getting the yes? Okay, so Tommy, you go first. Who was the first character you built, and then who was the latest character you've built or played?
So the first character I ever really played in was a half-elf monk ranger named Yu, and Turt ended up doing some art for me.
Yes.
Your bow, the bow with blades, I made a bow out of my swords. That's what was her weapon, was her sword.
Nice.
So, yeah, she was a beastmaster, and I think she was way of the 4 elements.
That's an interesting little combination. Why 4 elements?
I want to do avatar shit, man.
So you get to have Appa, and then you get to control some elements.
I had a giant elk as my animal companion. He couldn't fight with me, but like he was there. He could help carry stuff and like do tasks and stuff. His name was Daro, and
nice.
And like we literally would when I say giant elk, like giant sized elk, the whatever it is in the monster manual for a giant elk. So it's this big thing that the party basically like rode on whenever we traveled somewhere. And the last one that I played, we'll go with played, is Meander, the Honorable.
Yes. Gotta love him.
That's him and his animal companion Fred.
Another multi-class, right?
Wizard and rogue. So he's a thief and he's a blade singer.
Nice.
And just an impulsive, pompous asshole. So
I mean, that's fair. I feel like that's so we all kind of have.
I wanted to stab things and I wanted to steal shit and have a flying cat.
If that ain't the definition of D&D, I don't know what is. I want to stab shit.
I made up this whole
so Larice would technically go after Tom because these guys I think all rolled under 10.
We did.
I rolled a 2.
Yeah, he part of his backstory, for whatever reason, he's running from, I think this is in Exandria, so he's running from the Clasp, I believe. And so whenever he talks to people, he uses an alternate identity, which I made up on the fly, which was Zephyr Witchbane, the Witch Hunter General of Tal'Dorei.
Ooh.
I think I don't know, but I passed. They were orcs, so like
they were just like whatever.
Yeah, they just didn't like me.
Right.
I was trying to stop them from burning the little girl. Ended up being a hag. They were right. We should have just let them burn the little girl, but
holy shit!
But
talk about a fucking plot twist.
But it led to us going to the lair. We ended up killing the whole coven as opposed to just the one hag.
Good shit.
We barely got it.
Larice, I'm very curious to see you play a bard. That would be so much fun.
That would be fun.
My only character so far is a level 8 Wood Elf Cleric with 1 level Barbarian. Glad because of Bronx. I'm going crazy sometimes. Yeah, glad. We love her. Thank you so much for playing. Thank you so much for stopping by today. Tone, you are next.
All right, with my 7.
With your 7, the whole 7. Cleric Barbarian sounds full. Yo, I don't. So. Oh, that's Danny. Danny, yeah. Hi. My bad. Danny, hi. Yeah, Cleric Barbarian wasn't something we saw like going, and then like when certain elements of the game happened, we were like, nah, like you gotta go Barbarian, bro. Like it just makes so much sense. I would love to see her like Oh, it would be funnier if she
We're
was
coming
like
up to that in the podcast at some fairly
Two
soon.
Thomases and D&D.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if she was a grave domain because she could like punch you with rage and then heal you. Like she could knock you out for the rest of your hit points and then heal you full. Come on, tell me that's not dope. All right, Toad, again, take it away.
All right, so my first character is my paladin, Galahad. He is a paladin, Oath of Conquest, and he is pretty much a whole side of me that I have put into a noble character who is following a religion of the Platinum Dragon Bahamut. Didn't know too much about Bahamut aside from the fact that he was the really cool dragon fucking summon in Final Fantasy, and I figured, hey, fuck it, cool, I'm gonna go with him. And then found out that like word is law and being good and all that other fun stuff. But I have been really enjoying the paladin class. It is by far my favorite class. Definitely going the full 20 levels if we get there and he survives all of this nonsense.
That's looking more debatable by the day.
Rolling with you fuckers, right? Like,
wow. Don't roll.
Look at me.
Blame this one. I don't have anybody against me right now.
I mean, but I've had some really dope moments with him and some really cool moments, and just kind of living the life of smite first and ask questions later. That's kind of been the way to go. But it's great. I really enjoy playing him and kind of seeing the moral quandaries that I have to go and think about, and how he's actually religious in the fact that he believes in his God, not like following
you walk a very fine line of lawful good.
And
you do it very well.
Yeah,
you do it very, very well.
I would say Galahad. That's it, because you got that dad vibe.
I mean, listen, we knew it was gonna be a thing once you became old man Galahad, and then you started going the whole Galahad route. It was a wrap.
I know, fucking going and talking to you or walking into your room like I got a beer and you're there like having your moment, and I'm like,
bro,
dude, it was so good. You were just like, he just pats him on the back like, what the fuck?
What is going on? My character's just having a traumatic breakdown. Like, what is happening to me?
I'm just
they're there, buddy.
I'm there like in my head, like my head just pulling the straws, trying to figure out what I'm gonna say, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, I gotta help this man. So
speaking of dad,
yes, I know. All right, come back to me. I need to figure out what the hell's going on. I'll tell you about it.
Yes, Luis, he's so old now. Seabass, who was your first character? Who was your last character?
I wish I could say my first character was Kyver, but he wasn't. I played before that with a group. We called ourselves the Husbands of a little bit. And I, believe it or not, I played human rogue at that. Yes, Galahad, we love it.
I feel like you love rogues. Like, I'm gonna get to that question of like who's got their favorite classes. I know.
I love rogues.
I played my rogue for the first time and I dug it. I mean, it's swashbuckler, so it's literally
we love rogues. I won't lie, we love rogues. But Tommy loves an inquisitive rogue, and then this one just loves all rogues.
Well, the thing was but here's the thing though, is that the two characters I played between Kyver and that first character, they're so opposite on the spectrum. Because when Tommy approached, like, yeah, you could play this person and all that, I like to credit Kyver as my first, because Tommy let me run free reign with him. And I was like, oh, I want to play the bad guy. I want to be a heel. I want to.
Wasn't the requirement that you just needed to give him a reason for why he's doing what he's doing?
Good reason, not a campy reason.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't anything campy, because I going on different shows and telling people about the podcast. So I told them, like, listen, like, Dungeons and Dragons is a great writing tool. It's a great creative tool. It's a great character tool. And what I didn't get to do with the first character, I got to do so much more with this one, Kyver. And it was when Tommy gave me free reign on that, to deep dive of why would this character do the things that they are doing. And it allowed me to respect a lot of like what people go through with trauma and everything, because like by this time, the character, you can sense he has gone through a lot of trauma in his life, and it's like, he just it's one bad day. This guy's had a bunch of bad days, and
Right.
it was playing off of that. And then at the same time too, was playing off of how people treated him, because the way you guys were treating him at the time too, it played into how he was acting towards everybody as well.
Go ahead,
It
Tone.
just happened.
Go ahead, Tone.
Really?
But no,
Really? That's what we're going with?
play that. Yes,
Look,
yes.
How we treated him? How we treated him?
Perfect
I'm
reason you guys need to
sorry.
listen to the
I'm
podcast.
sorry. No.
It is.
Listen to the
No.
podcast.
Yeah.
No, it
Yeah.
was all
Because
fun
wait,
and
talk
games.
about Atlas. You're not even in our games, but you have listened to the first few sessions.
I've listened to the first episode. I have to apologize because I
You
keep
can
getting
skip to, like,
sidetracked at the
7.
bench.
Skip
But-
to 7. They go through the death house. Like,
Yeah.
that's all you need to know. They barely make it out alive.
What I
Obviously,
remember is they handcuff this man to somebody else. Am I right? They
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
they handcuff. So that's why I'm sitting here like, yeah, you guys, no offense, you did him dirty. Like, no, you handcuffed
No.
him.
Wait. See,
You have no
Thank
idea.
you.
no.
You have no
Obvious-
idea.
Dude, I don't know if you're lost in the sauce
Wait.
or
Oh,
your
no,
or your
okay, no.
your
He did
mixology
something, and then
toxifications
you-
or some shit.
Okay,
It was
no.
justified because this man tried to steal from the people who took us in
Oh,
for the
okay,
night
yep.
and
No.
rolled a natural one because he
Why
got
did I-
greedy.
Why did I have that mixed up with what's Turt's Kenku? Why did I have that mixed up with why did I have Atros mixed up with Kyver?
Oh,
I thought it was
Atros
Atros
cuffed
was the
him.
one who was
Okay.
cuffed him. So
Oh,
you were
okay.
almost there.
All right, I thought it was okay. No, so no, justifiably cuffed him
Yeah,
to somebody else. Sorry
Seabass
about
plays
that.
this story that we were bad to him when all he does is just no. We never met you. Well, I never met you. The other group fucking fought some zombies with you, right? And then all of a sudden you want to go and rob these people blind, and you had a chance to just be like, "All right, I'm good," and then you got greedy, and then we got caught.
Yeah. He had
It
what is it? He had the first caravan robbed, then he moved on to the next one,
got
then tripped
two.
over a bunch
Robbed
of shit.
2 out of 3.
Listen.
Yeah.
If you haven't, listen. You gotta go in all in, man. And you never know what's gonna happen.
That's fine.
It's like a dollar in a dream. You never know.
But you can't blame us for your
No,
shit.
It wasn't.
Talking about
But it
robbing
wasn't.
some
All
poor
right.
Roma.
It wasn't more to
Okay.
blame the part because obviously, listen. Let's not. Kyver was an asshole. He still is an asshole.
So tell us about your second character.
My second
Or
character.
not your second character, the latest character you've played.
The latest character I played actually was in Turt's one shot was Juggernaut, and then Juggernaut actually Cuddles. We'll go with Cuddles because Cuddles was the latest build and was the latest character too. I got actually it was 2 characters, Juggernaut and Cuddles. And Cuddles was just as chaotic as you're gonna fucking get.
Oh my God.
And it was just perfect. I mean, this guy was wearing a pseudo diaper. He's like, well, just to give you what Cuddles is, he's a Goliath barbarian that is like Lenny
Oh my God.
from Mice and Men.
Cuddles has my what, Larissa? Cuddles has my what?
Why? Why though?
And
Because
it was-
Seabass,
Whoa.
Seabass is pure chaos.
Why
that's-
though?
Definition has me crying. Yes. All right.
Cuddles was the definition.
And then we
of-
have Juggernaut, who was a
He was-
like 8 foot, 9 foot warforged,
He was
like
a 9
barbarian paladin.
9-foot Warforged paladin barbarian, and he didn't speak. He just let his action.
He was very like
for him.
one word, like one answer kind of person. All right, Tone, give us that second character.
All right. So last character I played was last week from our session with Yun. I played my barbarian Asuvius Dragonborn, who is for all intents and purposes, a fucking meathead, and I love it.
That's fair.
But
It's too obvious.
pretty much made him like typical barbarian. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you with my axe, and that is it. So he rages, and so like everyone has different kinds of rages. One of Tommy's characters has a really funny rage. But so his rage, I've been trying to figure out what I'm gonna do because he's not like the yelling type or something. He's more of a like like a let's go, get hyped up. Like I don't know if you watch like video game streamers or something, like when they do like any little bit of thing, it's like let's go. That's a Vesuvius.
Then just like play up that you're getting all jacked up, and then like in between hits, like you need to be like, "Wow, the fuck!"
I am the hype.
We should all just do a one shot. We should do a one shot where we all play our barbarians and just rage. That's it.
So so like and like some things
have fun with my wild magic.
Yeah. So like some things have happened with Vesuvius. That was really fun. We got into a situation with a bunch of owl bears, and I had a fucking -1 to animal handling, and I'm just here trying to like jump on top of them, trying to wrangle them. I even named a baby one Bjorn. He was just like my boy. It's a good time. I've written really, I don't have a voice for him. It's literally like my government voice is Vesuvius. It's just like I have just a really good time playing as him and not worrying about any of the moral quandaries that I have to deal with Galahad. I'm just here for a fucking good time. That's it.
Larice is in. Okay. I think we found Larice's favorite class right now. Atlas, give us your first and give us your latest.
Can I flip the order on you?
Absolutely.
All right, so I'm gonna start with the latest character that I played, or the second character that I've played or made was Riarius, and that was in Tommy's one shot for one of the chronicles, like the thieving jobs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and I believe he was like warlock and some druid warlock, something like that, something weird. But he was a satyr who had like just this thing with alcohol. Basically, he was a drunkard, or his patron was Dionysus or whatever else.
That. Okay.
Yeah, and he tried to be really smooth all the time, but he was really bumbling as far as it goes, and he was always sticking his hoof in his mouth, and I really, really loved it. And he was a kind of a more distinguished kind of English accent-ish. And I was doing more things with kind of playing with warlock and darker stuff, because I normally don't do that. I love normally playing the upholder of good and all that is whatever. So I like being sly and slick and kind of more motivated by other things than I normally am.
Okay.
And the reason why I
don't know who your warlock patron is. And that makes me so happy.
Oh, okay. I have to revisit Riarius.
Men don't go for D&D for boys. Listen, that whole D&D for boys is nonsense. I love watching like female players. I love watching like the diverse like amount of players. Listen, just for boys is nonsense.
No, Larice, you kill it, Larice, with Glad, and it was fun also too. Seeing
can we just shout out the last like RP session that Tone and Larice had that I can't wait to come out on like the podcast. Whoo! Oh, that's gonna be spicy.
I actually shared with Tommy with Atlas my recorded speech.
Yep.
Nice.
That was and
did you guys want Hutch's?
What happened?
Oh, I was gonna say, did you hear the latest one with Hutch?
Yes.
The intro for the last one was pretty good. I thought so. Sorry.
No, that's all right.
All right. So Atlas, the first character now.
Now I haven't. I played as a kid, but I didn't necessarily have any memorable characters or sheets. So my first character that I got incredibly attached to is actually one that I'm currently using. And that would be, as far as it goes, Oslo. And so Oslo Forgeborn is a magma genasi from a different plane.
Himbo energy.
Yeah, and the huge thing with him is he carries it's really weird character with a lot of different moving parts and pieces, but the thing to take away is that he carries around his fire genasi mother in the pommel of a sword that he wields that is his father's family sword. No, it's not. No, it's typical. You talk to your dead mom with a sword.
Listen, this is normal
totally
D&D stuff.
Totally Freudian, but totally normal.
I have a flying cat. I mean,
yeah.
Normal.
And so he's a forge cleric. He's magma because his father was earth and his mother was fire, and he's limestone toned with black hair. Somewhere I have bullets, turrets artwork of him. But yeah, I absolutely love him, and he can do weird things like thaumaturgy his veins to glow and do all this other cool stuff. But yeah.
All right. Yay! What's up,
George? What's going on?
What up, George?
So, I have a question for you guys. Go ahead.
Let's give George a shout out with him and Catch the Craze. They have a new Kickstarter out for Catch the Crazies issue 3.
That's right. Yes. The next question is up for anyone who wants to take it, because I know that this all applies to this applies to all of you guys. But what is the most valued thing that you use for D&D but isn't a D&D related item?
So when you say like an item, you mean like any sort of accessory for dicing?
So
or anything
for
like
me, Dennis has left me the stress ball, and the stress ball has been the greatest gift he's ever given me for our D&D sessions. So that's mine. What would be you guys, if you have one?
Recently, I started using an Excel spreadsheet for Asuphius. Because all the fucking damage numbers are too goddamn much. I've got if statements and nested if statements to do everything I need him to do with checkboxes and everything. So that has been helping me slightly cut down on calculator time.
Because we know Tone loves his calculator.
Let me bring up my calculator. Yeah.
Anybody else? OneNote, yes.
Usually listen to
Tommy. You use Evernote, right?
OneNote, yeah.
OneNote, okay.
Yeah, OneNote. I listen to playlists based on the campaign or the character. Either I'm playing or running. Like, I got a mood I have to be in to do collateral damage as opposed to playing in Turts or whatever character I'm playing. So that's usually what I do. So just playlists.
Piggybacking off of that, what is the most valuable thing for the internet? Yes, very unhealthy snacks to stay awake. Absolutely.
Yes.
We are notorious for snacks in that campaign, in all those campaigns. Yeah. Piggybacking off of that, what is the thing that you do to get you in that headspace? So Tommy said he uses playlists to get him in the headspace for his characters or for upcoming sessions. Seabass, what is something you do to get in the headspace of your character for upcoming sessions?
I did think about like that week, what happened in the last session, and I run like maybe like a bunch of different scenarios in my head, because I know after talks with you, Tommy, Turt, Tony, just everybody who plays, like nothing goes the way that you plan for it to go. So I'm like, okay, I just expect stuff to go south. So I'm like, what would the character do in this situation? And I'm just trying to picture it in my head, like the whole thing when I approached Squad in one of the episodes with a fun little weapon, and that was like, you know, the different ways it was playing in the head on, like if it goes this way.
Oh, and you needed help?
Yeah. Yes. And it was fucking hilarious, but it played for a moment. So it's like, I don't know, I just try to prepare to be in that headspace with that character. Like, you know, when I'm thinking about for the other campaign, Miz, I'm just like, okay, like, what would this fucking schmuck do at this point? Like, you know, like how is he and just, you know, just trying to prep in that headspace. And also beer helps, you know.
It helps that most of your characters drink.
Not most, like Juggernaut doesn't drink.
Most of your active characters that you play. But yes, Juggernaut, I would imagine, doesn't drink.
Well, with Soap was fun because Soap, I just literally just thought of like, you know, like what would a crazy like it's a little goblin sound who's like, you know, working with a team and all that, and just, you know, come out that way. And I remember telling Tone, like trying to prepare for the character. I was like, how is the character going to sound? And it just worked perfect. I was like, okay. And it's not to be trolly today, but it's just that this is just, I don't know, I hear voices in my head, so I'm just letting them out.
That's fair. This is the perfect place for it. Atlas, how do you prep for sessions? You're also a DM, so like I want to hear like how you prep for DMing versus prepping for as a player.
Oh man, so
if they are different,
not. I think playing is a lot more relaxed as far as it goes. I DM'd. The campaign's currently on hold for the Dogmite crew, and I would think of the overarching concepts and the storyline and where I wanted to go, or how and where the characters want to go, because the players would share with me aspirations for their characters, and then I would be like, okay, well, let's see how I can crack that open, and how does the balance of the spotlight go this week, because it's a big party as far as it goes. So how do I kind of balance this out? Who's the centric character? Yeah. And so that was what I would think about on that. On that front, playing, I sit down and I try to improve Oslo's voice. I have actually sat back and would like think of how can I make this, because I have it in my head. I'm like, and it doesn't sound anything like he sounds to me, but how can I make it sound more true to what's in my head? Like Seabass was saying, how do I let that out? So
we gotta give a lot of credit to is Doc for playing a lot of NPCs now, because his role play is just pretty.
Doc is going through the roof, man. Shout out to Doc, man.
Yeah.
Shout out the whole squad. Like I would honestly say, starting out to where we are now as players, DMs, and like everything in between, like I knew we were talented, but guys, good job to everybody. High fives all around. Yes, all that. Tone, how do you prep for games?
So it depends. So usually kind of, either when we first started playing, it was getting all my links ready and kind of just like knowing everything I needed to know and having all my stuff together. And then kind of getting me in the mood would be, setting up my dice table and getting all my stuff together, putting it all together, setting up my dice, just kind of getting like that whole pre-setup, just kind of getting me in the mood, gets me, like setting up my player character and putting it on top of the Medusa's token that Tommy got for us, and like setting up my, Galahad on top of there, and like, all right, cool, we're ready. That was kind of what would get me going. And then if I knew I had to do something like big, so the biggest thing I've had to do so far, like obviously everything's been off the cuff, right? But the biggest thing we had to do so far was in that moment when I said my speech to Vladimir in the tower, because to me, after Tommy was like, cool, you can do this check, and obviously the check failed, but whatever, it was still cool ass moment, and had a really epic battle with this dude.
Yeah, you were close.
I was close.
You were close. It's not like it was like it's not like you rolled a 2. Like
I think you rolled like 2 shy, or like 1 shy.
No, I rolled like a 12, and then when it was like a 12, and then I had a +7, so it was like a 19 or something like that. Okay. And the check was a 25 was a check.
Yeah, I think you had to roll like a 18, 19, or 20 to do it. Yeah. So there was a possibility, but like, I mean,
yeah, it happens. We had a cool moment.
It was an awesome speech.
Yeah, dude. So hype.
So so for that, when I knew that I was going to be doing that for the campaign, I didn't want to rely based off the cuff. Not because I don't trust myself, because there are times when we have like moments, but it's more of those things where like you're talking and like you're thinking in your head, what do I need to say to keep this going? Yeah. And so that the cadence is right, and so the emotion is there, and it's not me just thinking of what I got to say, and also keep that going, keep everyone entertained. So like writing that out, like an hour, like 2 hours or so before, and getting that ready, and then sharing that with Tommy, making sure it looks good, and then doing all that stuff. So like kind of just things like that were what I try to do.
Okay. I want to do a DM question for those who have DM'd. What is a skill that you almost never use or make a check for? And I'll start with Atlas, go for it. I like that laugh.
Okay, so we have this bears some explanation, because the Dogmite crew has a character that has made herself the diva of everything that goes on. Her name is Catherine Regina Winthrop, and she has like a natural 20 intelligence. It was insane, or something like that. And we homebrewed. We made a really cool class for her. She's a lore master illusionist who can bounce her spells off mirrors and stuff like that, and has like a pocket compact mirror familiar. And she's like, I want to do an Arcana check. Now, hit pause right there, because if you look at her character sheet, you're just like, there's no point in her doing an Arcana check nearly, because like you look at her modifier and just like, well, she's gonna find out. Like,
Right.
So I'm like, all right, Catherine. So we basically it's worked into her character that at that point it's just like, well, if Catherine approaches it, well, I either have to, the big bad outclasses her in terms of magical knowledge, and so she has to spend some time figuring it out, or I give her like a tidbit and then it moves right along. So I can't like crack open everything that's going on with whatever it is, but I can say like this is some high level magic. So like the campaign, she's well suited to be stumped and challenged by that campaign, but it's never a waste for her. It doesn't feel like a waste for her to investigate with Arcana kind of deal. So like it's not necessarily that it doesn't get used, but it's like at that point, what's the use? How do you stump a teenage prodigy spellcaster who's just like, you know what I mean? Like, and what do you give the character to make sure it stays interesting even on a failed check? Because she's an inquisitive character. She wants to figure things out. So tailoring to Catherine, the answer is Arcana, but it's because it was tailored around Catherine to a great deal.
Tommy, what's a check that you almost never hear yourself say?
Well, we haven't had the opportunity really for more than a couple like nature checks or survival checks, but really the ones that we haven't used yet, and mainly because I guess no one decides that they like everyone wants to just kill everything. They don't want to see what happens. So medicine checks, we almost never do medicine checks. We have 3 clerics in our party and a druid, and the druid heals more than the 3 clerics.
That's fair. That's also fair. Seabass, you do an interesting thing with your checks. You don't really leave it towards a D20 roll. Explain that for real quick. So, what was the method behind that? Method behind the madness?
The method behind the madness, I wanted to leave the story as random as possible, and I was just like, it would be interesting with using the various different dice to help with the story, because it's kind of like this. It's like like an anthology. We're all writing a story together, and that's how I took it. Was like we're writing the story together. I don't want to railroad anything. We're gonna leave it to chance. We're gonna let the dice decide, and that the dice decided. We're gonna go with that. And it was also I got the idea from just thinking how to approach with the boot camp scene that I did for you guys. Because having to I was thinking about it leading up to the game. I was like, I didn't want you guys to have to keep rolling all these crazy dice rolls to figure out if you made this check or not, because it was like, I don't feel like that's going to be progressively fun, because we're kind of like doing the same thing over. So it'll be like to take chance to help with overall story. So it's like, yeah, let's roll a D6. If you get an odd number, guess what's going to happen with the odd number? You're going to fail. If you roll an even number, you did great. And it made for interesting gameplay, because now it was trying to get the player involved. And I mean, there's
a higher threshold of success versus a D20, where there's a very slim margin of success depending on the DC.
Yeah, and it's like this is a character that you're building, and I wanted to do that. And again, it gave me a lot more respect too for like Watami, Turt, and all the other DMs, Atlas, which being a DM, because there is a lot of work being involved as a DM. You love everyone who's been a DM, and I was just shuffling through sheets and shit. I'm like, Jesus Christ, there's so much work. But at the end of the day, it was like more about, when I was doing that, is like, I just want you guys to have fun. That's it. Run with it however you guys want to run with it. It's like we're getting together, doing a collaborative story, but at the same time just having fun, playing characters, and let's go. That was it.
All right. Keeping in line with skill checks, for me, the most unique way I've seen a skill check be used was one of my characters got blackout drunk. Tommy remembers this very well. And I had to roll a history check to try to remember the nights of the events of the nights past. So what is the most unique skill check that you've seen or had done? And I will start with Tommy.
Way to throw a curveball. I mean, like, all of my skill checks are unique. Like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, I don't know. I think unique. I don't know, but I guess maybe if it's cool
Or
if I twist the question a
unconventional.
little bit. I mean, like, it all depends on the DM. I think the ones that have been like the most exciting, especially when we first started out, were and I think they still are when it happens, are the competing dice rolls to do things when you guys are both. Instead of me picking one or the other, it's like fucking roll a dex check or roll this check or roll whatever happens to be, and like it drives the story. So like the whole Amber Vaults, that whole thing, just that simple wisdom check.
Fuck the Amber Vaults, by the way. Fuck that place.
That was rough.
Oh my god, that was so bad.
That was so good. It was awesome. That was
good is debatable.
Tommy was good.
As a story, as
a story, it's beautiful. But oh man, I didn't want. For those tuning in, not familiar, what does a DM do? Ooh, Tommy, you want to take that?
We're the narrator. We got to know the places and the customs, and we play all of the not really super important characters or side characters. You know, the players are the main characters, and it's their story, and we're just basically narrating it for them so that they can, so the story can unfold however it unfolds.
Okay. Atlas.
Yeah.
That same unique skill check question.
What is a unique skill check to me?
So like what's one that you've had to use, like rolling a history because you black out drunk? Like what would be one that you can remember if you have one?
My players, I have a really weird campaign set up. So because it's such a large party, if players can't make the session, we have them zip out of existence kind of deal. Okay. Real quick. It's longer, but this is the short version of it. And they go to the Carcosian plane. And so they've tried to roll to remember their memories from the Carcosian plane when they're not in the main campaign. Because I've had an entire party of players that like zipped away, and then the next week they're the same people that were gone for the week prior or something like that. So I'm like, okay, let's play you guys on the Carcosian plane where your characters disappeared to. But the caveat is when they return to the normal, like the thing going on, they don't remember. And so they've been trying to figure it out. So the most interesting checks I've had are the most unique checks I've had are the ones where they're trying to piece together by like leaving messages for one another. Like I think one of them carved a message. They were all allowed to carve a word on a staff one of the familiars carried or something like that. And so they all had to like do investigation and like try to like pierce the veil of whatever memory magic was in place to figure out what was going on. And so that's the most unique thing as far as it goes. I can't remember what skill exactly, but that was like I was repurposing like history or investigation or something to have them all try to figure out the puzzle pieces. So
I like that. That's dope.
Yeah.
Very unique mechanic. Sebastian, you guys got one? One that you can remember of just like, how in the hell is this gonna work?
Everything that Kiefer does. That's my answer. It's like, how does he fucking make these
To
checks?
be fair, yeah.
It's like, listen, I don't know.
I can tell you how I make the checks.
Go for it.
If me as a standard rational human being questions something that he's doing or saying to either me or that I'm watching him doing, I'm gonna request some sort of check for that. Like, okay, so you're gonna sneak away from the 8 other party members that are all looking around. And you just said it. You didn't like type into me saying that you were dipping off. You say it out loud. So you now have to roll high enough in order to say, yeah, none of them see me. None of the 8 other people that are looking around see me.
And I don't know how he makes it sometimes.
You do have high stealth. Your dice just don't always agree with you. Like, there's a difference. Exactly. All right. Favorite NPCs now. Ooh. I'm gonna start with Tone. What's your favorite NPC that you've encountered so far?
I would have to say in Turt's campaign is Volseer the blacksmith. That is my favorite NPC. So when we first got to him, because it was like a really quick sort of thing, and I don't think Turt like built out his personality yet. He just seemed like a really grumpy crap. Skip me, please. I'll be back.
No worries. Non-playable character is what an NPC is. So
non-player.
Non-player.
Yeah, so
I'm sorry.
player,
That's the game. The gamer in me.
Non-player characters.
Essentially, the DMs are the ones who control those characters for the narrative. Seabass, who's your favorite NPC so far?
My favorite non-playable character is going to be Chico.
Chico.
That's it. It's how do you beat Chico? It's hard. It's like, I mean, this guy. I feel like
Chico's so lovable, though.
I feel like Chico would be that guy standing next to Jay and Silent Bob in front of the Quick Stop, just like a D&D version of the Quick Stop, just chilling with them there.
Right on.
And yes, and
Chico, if you guys stick along with the Producers Cascade, I think Chico should be coming up very, very soon.
In the next couple of episodes.
Oh, it's gonna be so good.
Do you guys have a link to Medusas in the description?
We do.
Yeah, we do.
All right, cool. All right.
If you go right under to Tommy's IMT Thomas TBG, the Medusa's Cascade link is right there under Tommy's description under guest.
Atlas, favorite NPC you've encountered?
All right. I've encountered or
I
I've
feel
done.
bad for the dude with the shovel though. I mean that we won't get it. We won't spoil it, but yeah, that's a lot of shoveling they had to do if they did. Tommy, don't look at me like that. It's so bad. So sometimes we're murder hobos and it's just so bad.
Sometimes,
all the time.
Atlas, continue. NPC
So
that you've encountered or you've made, either one.
All right. I'm gonna go with you guys are covering like the Spitballers and the Indian stuff pretty well, so I'm gonna circle back to Dogmite, and that would have to be Hastor, or not Hastor, Hashira the Shepherd, who is a supplicant of Hastor. And basically what happened is one of my necromancer players found a book that was alive, who had the first supplicant or the first shepherd of Hastor, the King in Yellow. And that was back when he was a benevolent god. And so what ended up happening is he summoned a familiar from this book, and he goes like, hey, what's going on here? Like, what's your name? Well, my name's Hashira. I'm the first shepherd of Hastor. Hi, nice to meet you. Kid, what are you? What did you do to me? And he brought back this really wry, yellow tunicked shepherd, with a skeletal shepherd with a crook. And Hashira is like, I don't know what's going on here, kid. And he served as a DMPC, like a DM, like expositionary character.
Right.
And so there's a necromancer in the party named Zirian. And Zirian used his ability. He's like a Fate Zero summoner. He can, if he has an article from somebody, he can pull them out of time to bring them to him. And he uses that for necromancy. And so Zirian brought Hashira back, and then he serves as like Skelly from Hades. That's his whole. That's his whole vibe. Is like, hey kid, come on, let's go. Like, what's going on here? Like, I don't know, kiddo. Or like, he's kind of like a mix between Skelly and Philoctetes from Hercules, kind of deal. It's like that's his whole shtick. Is high nasal voice, Brooklyn Boston accent, kind of going like, kid, what the hell's going on? What'd you manage to do now? Like, that kind of deal.
That's amazing.
And yeah, so Hashira is probably my favorite, and he's always getting the shaft, always getting mistreated, and it's just really, really funny to play him. And when the campaign comes off hiatus, that's probably the other character that I'll be really excited to dig back into. So, nice. Yeah.
Galadad is back. I was gonna get back to Galadad. Galadad, you ready?
Oh my god, man, it's rough tonight. Yes, so talking about Volsir, the blacksmith dwarf from Turt's campaign. Yeah, so he came off as like really rough and gruff and like didn't want to deal with me and didn't want to deal with Atlas and was like, get off my fucking lawn and shit. Like, I'm like, dude, I need my axe to be fixed. Like, you got to fix this shit. And so, but he once, I think like 2 weeks pass after he takes my axe and like, you know, I pass the check and I give him the stone, all this other stuff. 2 weeks pass and Turt finally gets to flesh him out. And he is just this whole different character who has this whole personality that I just really enjoyed and kind of dug with, and like how he knows a lot of stuff. He knows about like my character, he knows about Vesuvius's mother and like all this other stuff. He's kind of a perv, you know, it's like a whole it's a whole to do, and he's like just really like rough, grumble, like salt of the earth, working the metal. But he's a really cool NPC that I really enjoy. And then I also enjoy Strahd. I like when Tommy plays Strahd. And I think, you know, one of the things I've read about some of the module villains is that you don't really see them, or they don't really interact with the party too much. They're kind of just there in the fog and kind of that's it. But what's really cool about Strahd is that Strahd shows himself to the party because he's all big shit. Like, I've been doing this for centuries, so I'll talk to you and tell you and just so full of hubris and all of that, and like Tommy just plays him so well, so I really enjoy our interactions with him. So it's kind of, I will say, cool.
Tommy makes a great villain.
Yes,
yeah,
Tommy knows how to play a great villain. So does Turt. I gotta hand to the Patron Fool. I hate that guy in both campaigns, but Constable is so high on my shit list. Tommy, who has been your favorite NPC?
Would it bereave you to know that the Constable was easily my favorite NPC to play?
Of course it was!
The Constable and Rig have been my 2 absolute favorite ones to play.
Oh, man.
Mainly just because
fucking Rig.
It was close. It was very close to the best. And it was... What's the best way to put this? It was integral to the actual story. Like, I enjoy playing Strahd, but like Curse of Strahd is just sort of get you guys going on whatever you know, for you guys to learn the mechanics of the game and learn how to role play and find yourselves as a team. And so like something that I made and affected you guys so much, and like when you guys were like, I fucking hate that guy, I was like, oh, thank God. Good. You were supposed to hate him. I didn't want to feel like a fucking like sadist. I was like, okay, like I don't have to do that again for a long time. So okay. No, but he's super fun, and Rig was also very fun.
You see the head shake from Tone? Do you see the head shake?
And I will say that Alyssa helped me with that storyline because I was going to do something different. And she's like, no, you got to do it like this. I'm like, you know what?
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, we're doing that instead.
If we hate someone, we are absolutely doing something right. Yeah.
I'm just saying, Rig really, got Galahad really pissed off.
I know. I was trying to push your buttons. I wanted you to lose your temper.
Oh, man.
All right.
Just needed that pass from Shanks, and it just would have been probably would have had a talk with Muhammad after that. Yep.
I just love the walking out of the room and just saying, weakness,
dude. Oh my God! I was explaining that to someone the other day, and they were just like, "Damn."
I don't blame you.
Yep.
The fact that I got our paladin to want to murder this chick, I was like, okay, good.
Yeah. Like we had her subdued,
like
and
out of combat. Like it wasn't like, because in combat I'm like,
yeah, whatever.
It is what it is. But once like subdued in whatever fashion, and it was funny because after she got subdued, I had texted Law and I was like, bro, I was gonna end her life.
Yo, and I told him, I was like, me and you both, like,
dude.
Yo, me and Toad have never been so in sync until that moment.
Dude, just remember, if you rolled higher on that initiative.
Yeah.
If you hadn't, I had sneak attack.
That would have been so wild. Yeah. It's not even that I rolled higher. I rolled the natural 20 plus my initiative, like or whatever you said, like roll off, and I was like, holy shit!
Yep.
Can I add that?
If you guys do not have a stress ball for your D&D sessions, go get one. Especially if you have DMs like Tommy and Turk.
Can I add that I was happy that it wasn't Kyver causing the shenanigans at that time?
Of course you were happy. You were in your room. You peeked that. You're like, oh, they're fine. And you went back to your room.
Go back to reading my book.
Dude, the reason we had 3 sessions in the freaking tavern after this whole thing was because of not only what happened with Rig, but also what happens with Kyver afterward.
So much to see in these next few episodes of Medusa's Cascade. All right, the last question I will leave you guys on is, what has been your best memory so far? Either, favorite moment, one that shocked you for your own RP session, a combat that was really cool and great finish, or a DM bombshell that has just rocked you. I will start with who's my first victim? Tommy.
There's been quite a few of them, especially the bombshells. Pretty much that episode where I had you guys open the box. For one reason or another, it was a bombshell. And it was the first time a lot of you spoke about what actually happened to your characters.
Yeah.
I was not all of you. Some of you had already were very open about it, but it was a turning point for a lot of people at that point. Especially, and Galahad, same with Galahad too. Like everybody had that was like right after the like ritual murdering of each other for the constable's pleasure.
Oh my god, that was so rough. Why Kyber and Sirius gone so far after Glad just for say how she loves y'all? Yo, that was actually a good moment though.
Yeah, again, competitive.
I missed
competing roles.
You put up Danny's comment before this.
Yeah,
it's always scary when you roll a 20 and the DM still ask for the modifier. Yes, yo, Danny. I was like, I got this. He was like, what's the modifier? I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Because for context, he literally said, roll a deception check, and I said, fuck you mean roll a deception check? Like, I'm running with like blades out to this chick's throat. Like, what you mean? And he said, roll a deception check. I was like, okay. And then he goes, now give me your initiative, or dexterity, like a contested dex check. And I passed, and I was like, stressed.
A lot of stuff happened right before that moment.
Oh yeah. When I can't wait for that to come out. Like, I was excited for the Constable arc, but that Rig arc, chef's kiss.
Still, it's a Constable arc, so yeah.
Yes, terrifying. Seabass, what you got for me?
So give me the question again, because I'm like I said.
Favorite moments, one that shocked you for your own RP, combat that ended in a great fashion or what have you, or a DM bombshell that rocked you.
Actually, I loved was the boxing opening. Like Tommy said, that was a great moment, because at this point I felt like that snapped something in my character's head, Kyver. And if you notice, it was at that moment when he opened the box, he was going really crazy and off the rails at that point. And I love for the fact that it was an actual box that Tommy sent us, open it up, and it had something to do with the letter for Kyver's pass. And I was just like, dude, that was just so fucking, it was so fucking epic right there. So I was just like, dude, just what Tommy did with that. And
we got handwritten letters. Like, listen, Tommy went above and beyond for that session, and we were just like, can we open the box now? Yeah,
it was like this. You get the box. He goes, okay, open, because he said don't open the box when you get it. So it's like, open the box up, and then you pull out the letter, and it's like, holy shit. Like,
I think we all like started to read our letters, and then like we were like, nah, we can't like
read.
Yeah, no, Tom was like, what the fuck is this?
Read. Yeah, I forgot y'all could read yours.
Atlas. Good.
Oh yeah, but that was that to me was a great interactive moment right there, and it allowed for even to add more for character development. Which again, thank you, Tommy.
Atlas, what you got for me?
The one that stands out for me was Oslo's moment with the Fool after he broke Ino. Because we were having this monologue that came out like the Batman and Joker monologue kind of deal. Because Oslo does not like the patron fool at all. Thinks he's like what he believes he stands for. And either way, he was like, basically, Oslo was injured and the fool was giving him a pass. Like the fool could have just murked Oslo right then and there, honestly. And Oslo had this fake bravado on. And he goes, when one day we do, when one day we do clash, you will have all of me, or something to that effect. And Oslo keeps up this face, and then the fool walks off through his portal like Kuragiri out of My Hero, whatever else. And then Oslo just like lets it all go and is like, I need to change my pants. And like whatever else, because he's like, oh boy, like he plans on doing it, but he put on this bravado of like, oh, I'm totally going to murder you when I'm back at full strength and when we're actually equals. Like you are going down. And I love that whole drawn out monologue they had against one another, with especially Oslo just took his finger and pinged it off one of the cheeks of the patron fool, like bink, just like, because that's all I could do. That's all I could. He was like, I'm gonna make myself as big and threatening, and I'm gonna make myself a big promise I have to fill one day, and boop. And that was my favorite moment.
All right. Tone. Wait, Dad couldn't read his? So Tone, explain why you couldn't read yours, and then you can go into your favorite moment.
Why explain when I can show?
Oh
boy.
So, that meme where it's like that kid from, it's like, oh, you guys got stuff? Yeah, it was like, everyone opened it, and I was like, y'all got letters? I got a cipher.
Yep.
What?
I got a cipher. And I get one of those easy ones like a Caesarean cipher, and the ones I can look up on Wikipedia or some shit. I got the transpositional cipher, and like I just could not figure out for the life of me. I made an Excel sheet. I did a whole fucking thing. I needed insight rolls to do it. Anyway, it was cool because
that was my fault. Totally went over.
Nah, it's all good, man. It's all good. It's cool. It adds to my frustration as a fucking character because look, I spent 50 years talking to my patron and didn't know it was him until I got out because of fucking shit perception rolls. So like, it's very much to the character of me getting frustrated with things. Yeah. So for me, my moment is, I've talked about it a couple times now, is the Vladimir battle. The speech was fucking dope, and the fight was really dope. The fight between me and him was good. Everything happened afterwards was just like me, just like, I need help. Please help me.
Just knee to the ground, like
help me,
falling,
please.
Like, just
yeah. But like fighting, it was pretty much me versus this giant revenant. And like there were some checks that had happened where everyone failed except for me and Law, and I think that probably much could have turned the tide of the battle because it was like a whole turn being lost and just going back and forth with this dude. Tommy was not hitting me, which was great, although he made up for it later on. But
man, did he?
Yeah, he did. But
when he dropped those dice, I was like, there
were some moments where it was just, really cool going back and forth with this dude, and like he, taking out the final blow, and he's like vowing that he'll see me again because that's what revenants do. And I'm like, well, whatever, fuck you. I picked up your sword, and I'm like, I don't care what the discussion is about the sword. This sword is mine by rights. So, it is what it is. We can go to the training ground if we have to, but I handed this thing over.
Handing this thing over. What?
Yeah. So, there was a moment where I was like, I was willing to push this dude out the window and jump out the window with him. Like, there was a lot of moments that had happened with Vladimir that were really cool. And I think Asuvius should be up for one soon for one of his biggest character moments, whether he lives or dies, we don't know, but that will be a fun moment in and of itself. Aside from like, when I did the Hail Mary and did the thing with the Makula box,
oh man,
which was, which is really to save everyone and not being a meathead, but really kind of taking care of the party when I could have just was like, fuck it, I'm going to fight this Bahir on my own, which I probably could have, but I was taking care of the party. Yeah.
You did what you had to. I wasn't even mad at it. Like in game and out of game, I was like, yo, you made the right move. Like,
yeah,
it was what it was.
Yeah.
Seabass, where are we at with time? Just to make sure I don't run too far over.
No,
Are
we're
we-
good. We could take a temporary intermission and come right back for Invincible.
Are we still waiting for Val?
Yes, we are.
All right, so all right, I'll leave with a fun question then. How does everyone buy dice? So I know everyone has their methods and madnesses. For each PC, do you have based on necessity, like more D20s or more D6s, or do you just like to get all the shiny math rocks that go clickety clack? And I will start with Atlas because he made the most dice goblin-y face out of all of you.
So I actually, weird thing. I have 2 that were given to me because I did a special project at work where I was overseeing it, and therefore I needed them for what I was doing. It was for a dice company that had commissioned a custom dragon sheath from us. Zipsy, I can't remember. I think it was like for Black Oak Games or something like that. And so he has these oversized dragon dice, and so that's where I got these. The metal one came from Teammate of the Week, and so I have a metal set. This set I've had since I started. It was one of the first sets. I've had it kicking around for years, and I have it. And then lastly, the one I'm most proud of, and it was probably a vote of faith to me from somebody, was my boss, Michael Konis, and he did the prototype when we released the Dragon Glass sometime last summer. And I gave out, so I don't buy dice. I normally have them given to me, or I have that as the long and the short of it. But he gave out maple prototypes of these Dragon Glasses to everybody. He's like, play test them for me because I know there's a company game going on. And my coworker at the time, Woody, came up to me and he's like, "Oh, those are really cool. I wanted to try one." And I handed him my maple prototype. And the boss sees me, walks over, and gives me this full of his personal dice set and the ice blue in Brazilian rosewood. And I'm like, what the hell? And he's like, here, take this one. You get this one. So I have this one. I've kept it near and dear to me. And it came with that ice blue set. So these aren't one that I would even buy for myself, but they have meaning because my boss has been a great mentor to me. And so I keep them hanging around, and I keep them in the awesome prototype he gave me. So, yeah.
Wow, so what's up?
Yeah.
When we kept the peices, I don't know what it's. Yes, from the Hag's Hut. Tommy, go ahead.
Some of them I use for specific characters. The rest of them usually I'll just pick ones that I know I've been rolling with lately that roll well. But,
Okay.
But outside of that, if I'm buying them, it's just if the math rocks look shiny, I want them because they go clickety clack.
Okay. I like it. Tone.
So the first set I have the first set from when we played in Seabass's house. Like that first set, and then it got to a point where it was like, all right, I need some more math rocks because like this one rolling each dice one by one was killing the whole party too. Like I know it was killing you guys. So I bought 2 sets from Etsy, and then I bought another set from a gaming company, got like a whole bunch of stuff. And then at this point, and then I bought some set at the local game shop and where me and Seabass live. So now I'm in the process that I want. I kind of want specialized dice made from different materials. So, wood or gemstone or something like that, just to kind of have them and use them for like special occasions and stuff. I've seen different things, or I've seen the high variable dice, which like, I don't even know if we can use those, but they're pretty cool. There's been a bunch of different stuff, but now I don't see the need to have like all these resin dice, but more so just having something specialty and made or something. That way I don't have to worry about it, and I use it when I need to.
I like it.
Yeah.
Seabass, take us home, brother. Take us home.
Take you home with the first set. This is the first set. It didn't help that so when I was living at home in the Bronx still, this last set I got in the Bronx, which was from Blacksmith. So there goes the dice right there. Those are the metal dice. Then it didn't help that where we moved over here, there is a tabletop. So these are the cursed dice. That's what I call them because they don't roll.
The dice jail.
Yep. And then I got this set, this bad boys, that look very pretty. I don't know, I fell in love with them, but look how pretty that looks. They have a nice.
Those are the metal ones, right?
Yep, those are the second ones. They're so party.
I'm with Tommy. I'm with Tommy on that.
So I was, and that was funny because for Yun's one shot, I was using both sets of metal dice to roll for both characters. and thank you, Dave. Yes, the TikTok promos have been fun. And Larissa,
thank you.
That's cute. But yeah, I mean, that's the episode. Take it, close it out, Law, and then we'll get into the next.
Thank you guys so much for joining us on this D&D episode. Thank you, Tommy, our DM, our brother Beard, our everything, and Atlas, our master craftsman, who is working out so much for us and does so much for us. We love you. Thank you guys for joining us on this D&D part of the show. I'm your boy Law.
Well, yeah.
Are we taking it away? Oh, we're going
right into Invincible.
So, Tommy, if you are staying, you head out. So Tommy, thank you for joining us. We'll catch you later.
We're subbing in Tommy. Thank you, Tommy, for coming. Make sure you check out Tommy's links. But we're subbing in Tommy for VMAC. What is up?
What's up?
Hey guys, I got a cameo with Simba too.
Hello. All right, are we gonna do a quick break in between, or are we gonna jump right into it?
I
need like 5, and I'll be right back. Is that cool?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I must be right back. But what's up, V? How you doing?
What's going on? Good. Keeping busy. Watch it. Did you guys check out Jupiter Legacy yet?
No, I've been watching.
One episode.
I've been watching Shadow and Bone and a bunch of other stuff, and Warrior on HBO Max.
That's another one that I want to see.
I am knee deep into Supernatural with me and my wife. That's been our binge.
That lost me after a few years. it was like after a few years, it was it got a little bit much, and I stopped. Like I didn't stick to it.
Yeah, we're on season.
Thanks.
We're on season 9, I think, of 15 or something. Like we're almost.
Oh
there.
Yeah, you're invested.
We're invested at this point. We love the Winchesters. We are a pro Winchester.
I don't think family. I went that far in.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on what is it? Stone and Bone and the other show on HBO. What is it with the one that Josh Whedon wrote?
From the Bronx.
But
you muted, Law.
I was like, yeah, she's from the Bronx.
Can you tell? Is it that bad? Oh.
It's a good thing. Bronx recognize Bronx.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
I also want to shout out our buddy Johnny who has his company Don't Fucking Care clothing brand, and I have his Ranger shirt. And I bought a couple other things, but shout out to Johnny Marcondes, who is an awesome photographer and artist, and I am wearing his shirt for today's session.
Cool.
Yep, Larissa said right there. We know, Larissa, we love you, girl. We love you, girl. We're all from the Bronx here. This is the Bronx panel. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But Tone, take it away.
All right, so we are finally getting to talk Invincible on this fucking show.
I'm excited about this one. I am so excited.
Yes. So I want to do a little bit differently because usually like when we do our shows, Seabass kind of runs through the questions and we kind of go based off that. I kind of just wanted to have like an all-out discussion about everything with some questions peppering in if we get like a little bit of a lull, but I doubt that. We've got 8 episodes of awesomeness based off the Robert Kirkman and Cory Walker comic Invincible, art also done by Ryan Ottley. And I've got to say, this has been a pleasant surprise. Oh, yeah, this is spoilers, girl.
Spoilers. Tone, you got to do the thing. Tone, do the thing.
All right, yeah. So we are talking Invincible. We are talking all 8 episodes. I promise you there will be no spoilers past episode 8 because I have read all 144 issues
and
in about
I'm
a week and a
currently
half.
reading. I'm quite a few issues in.
I can't wait. The hype train is real.
Oh my god,
seasons 2 and 3. But I promise you there will be no comic spoilers. But they will be show spoilers from episodes 1 through 8. So you have been.
Thank you for joining us today.
You have been warned. We're not going to say Tony Stark has died. We are going to say it was all a lie. The fucking Vulturemites are warriors and conquerors. Omni-Man is that dude. All right.
Is he that dude though? Or
he that boy?
He's that dude. He's that dude. It ain't Tenzin. It ain't J. Jonah Jameson. It is Omni-Man. So I wanted to have a discussion about the show, what everyone's thoughts were, what they were kind of going into it, all the bits and pieces that we got, this kind of flip of the superhero origin story, and also, what we expect in the future and what your predictions are, especially for the folks who aren't reading it, kind of just going along for the ride. So the first question, just to kind of get us all going, was, what did you feel about the show? How did it surprise you? And were you expecting it from what we got from the trailers? And we'll start with VMAC.
Well, I didn't watch any trailers. I had no idea about the show. It was just something I saw advertised, and I'm like, what's this? Let me check it out. When I click on it, the first few minutes of the first episode, I'm like, why is this knockoff DC Justice League? What am I watching? Up until the last 20 minutes, and I could not stop. It was just so good and well written, and I mean, there were certain things I saw, I predicted, and I was right, except for the part I could say ahead, right? Yeah, because we're spoiling it. Yeah. Okay. Up until when he said he didn't love his wife, I thought one of the reasons why it was because he loved his wife, why he didn't know and he was hiding it, that I was off by, but I'm sure he cares. I'm hoping. But I was obsessed from the very first episode, and I did not stop. It was like a straight binge whenever I had any kind of TV time. And as far as I didn't have any disappointments because I had nothing to expect. It was good across the board. The writing, the action, the animation, the boys in animation basically to me, and it was just so good. And I have not seen Boys season 2. I will say that. I've only seen season 1. I'm now reading these issues of Invincible, and I'm just saw something that blew my mind that I can't say yet, but I'm really excited to see the rest animated, and it's kind of like the same excitement I have with when I watch my animes and reading the mangas and seeing them come to life.
Cool.
We will say definitely. For the boys, because you didn't watch week to week and you can get to binging would probably be a better experience for you.
I don't think the boys was meant as a. I don't think so. I think I think we all kind of agreed it just wasn't best for the week to week drops. I think Disney Plus has really honed in on the week to week episodes because leaving you for a little bit more. Where I think there were only a couple episodes of Boys season 2 that were like, I can't wait for the next episode. Where it was like, all right, well, I guess we'll see. But watching it all, I think watching all 8 episodes now, I think it'll be way more entertaining. I know for me, I'm definitely going to do that for when season 3 comes out. I'm just going to watch all of season 2 and see if I like it better. But yeah, Atlas, question to you.
All right, so like what? Sorry.
What did you feel about the show? Was it kind of what you expected? Like, were there any expectations that you had going into it? Because I know for me, this was I never heard of Invincible. It was a brand new IP. I knew it was a comic. I heard things about it being violent, and then when I started reading it like right before I started watching it, and it was one of those things where, like, the violence just comes out of nowhere. It feels like very something, and then there's a switch, and then it doesn't stop. So kind of that way for you.
So I did saw things in advance. I saw it off Kimbo's Facebook timeline. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, oh man, I just kept seeing everyone talk about it, and I just caved. And I went and I binged it over a couple days. Now what did it do that surprised me was how, like, the last episode, how unflinching. Because, like, normally you introduce a trope like that of a villain who's just, like, absolute, like, dead set, and there's something that shakes them at some point, but it was only at the last second after he had, like, the death blow on Mark, when he had that death, and that was, like, all the way up to that one point was what got me, and watching how just ruthless it was what really got me.
That train scene. Oh my god.
So good.
And that was what broke kind of because I did see all the tropes and I saw them written throughout, and I think the one thing that got me was the shock of they subverted Omni-Man at the last second, but it was how long it had to go on for and to what extreme it had to go on for before they subverted it. Because you see his tears like flying off his face, freezing as he flies off into space. And you're like, he's going to be back. He's emotionally compromised, but he was that unflinching until that second. That was the shock for me. So
cool. Law.
Ask the question one more time, just so.
Right,
so sorry, I had to refill my water bottle. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. All right. So, what did you think? Like, kind of what you were expecting from the show. What were your expectations when you first watched it? Like, was there anything there when you got the trailer or anything like that? Like,
okay,
and what you thought about it.
So, I knew very, 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 very little about this going in. I think bare minimum going in, if anything. And then after watching that first episode, because I was like, all right, they're gonna do like The Boys, where like, we get this fake superhero Justice League universe kind of thing. And I was like, let's see how far this goes. Like, all right, cool. So that like ending where I was just like, oh, that's what we're doing. But I love a series that their first episode sets the pace and sets the tone of what's to come. So like watching it through where you kind of just get things unfolding. You feel bad for Mark because he's like, I'm invincible. This boy gets wrecked all the time.
Every time.
And it's not even just physical trauma. This boy is like emotionally and mentally traumatized at this point.
Bro, it gets worse.
Oh man! So like, I feel
way worse before it gets any better. It gets worse.
You have that. You have like Omni-Man, who is this, like Atlas said, like this villain of a character who. Like, we're all just waiting for that shoe to drop. I'm just like, when is it going to happen? Like, is he going to just lay out his cards and be like, fuck it, it is what it is?
Did you guys see it coming?
Oh, yeah. So I knew it would happen. I didn't know how and when. And then when it did happen, how it happened, I was like, wow, that's what we're doing now. Wow.
No, it clicked to me that he was there for something else. Like they were like, oh, what if he was like mind controlled or something like that? When the aliens who were like came in and they died, like it aged out. When he goes out into their universe and he's like, Earth's not yours to conquer. I'm like, yo, he's here to conquer. That's when it like smacked me in the face.
So I suspected from the minute he started describing Viltrumite and like his home world,
it didn't make sense.
I was like, this just seems suspect. Like this
what's
seems sus.
Talking mad sus.
So
yeah,
so here's the two things that like even further that sus notion was, one, he just murked everybody, but two, how cold and calculated he was after that. Like no empathy, no remorse, like it just
nothing.
Like nothing. So you're there watching him describe like we're this and we're heroes, and I'm like, nah, like you're here to like, and then you see Mark on Mars, and like you see that interaction where they're like, oh, you're a Viltrumite, and then he's just like, I'm a good guy. He's like, no, you're not. Like that. And he's like, what is happening right now? Because in his head, he's like, I'm a good guy. Like
I actually gotta watch that back because I can't recall their reaction to
the Mars episode. Essentially, Tone, correct me if I'm wrong. Their reaction to hearing that he was a Viltrumite was like a little like apprehensive, like, oh shit, like you're like, we don't want to fuck with you, essentially.
Oh, the Martians?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. I remember when he talks to Alan.
Yeah.
And Alan's like,
Alan's like, you're a Viltrumite. Yeah, because he's like, these guys like rule countries. Like, your plan is off our radar because we don't mess with you guys. Like, it's like just not happening.
I don't know why I got that impression with the Martians. Maybe I'm bugging out.
I'm reading where I'm reading at, and I went back to the beginning and reread it. So there's different things that in the books for where the show, how it chronicalizes. So like it's getting like blurred now for me. So it's harder. I'm like, wait a minute, did that happen with the Martians? So I didn't catch that part. It was like the Martians wasn't really.
It was.
Yeah,
registering to them.
they moved a lot of stuff around from the whole Martian arc. So like the Martian thing, it really just sets the story arc
Of something else.
of the astronaut who is taken over by those little tentacle things,
Right.
because they're a hive mind. So that's gonna be a thing that happens in season 2 or 3.
Stario or whatever.
Yeah,
Starro.
Yeah, something like
knockoff.
that.
yeah.
But yeah, I love the series so far. Did not see it going the way it went. Well, let me not say, like again, like the train scene. Like I did not see it going. So
I love how they made it more modern though, and compared to when you're reading the book.
There's so many
things that's changed.
Yeah.
Because I want to read the comic now for this, because like even watching it unfold, you have like a certain bar of expectation of like, all right, this is as far as it's gonna go. Like this is a threshold, and then it goes, no, we're gonna make you uncomfortable watching this. And like I was just like, yo, this man is a villain, like a villain. Holy shit! And he's just there wailing on his son, like. Dude, I'll wait another 17 years to make another one of you. I was like, yo.
I think they made that part more brutal in the show than in the book.
Yes.
That is cold.
The
way he described him and his mother, where he was like, your mom's a pet. I was like,
that whole Chicago scene,
D-Mac,
that whole thing.
So I know you said you're hoping that he didn't really. I full-heartedly believe that he believed that.
I get it now. However, at the time it's happening, because prior to them revealing why, I was having conversations with like coworkers and stuff, and we're like, I think he's there to conquer, but I think what subsided him from actually following through with the plan was he fell in love with the wife, ended up having a kid, and did the whole family thing. So it took away from his ultimate goal. However, for them to say, yeah, his goal was still to conquer, but it wasn't, it was like a longer plan than that. That part I didn't anticipate. So, it was like, I like that I can't predict it entirely, which kept me even more intrigued.
Yeah. Seabass, I'll let you take the next.
Sorry.
No, that's good. I'm going to keep it short and sweet with this one. How I felt about it. Well, Omni-Man treated that team like how we all wanted to treat the Whedon cut. So that's pretty much it. Val, your sweater is awesome, by the way. Love the Baby Yoda. Grogu. Yep. Grogu. I'm sorry.
There are those in this house that would still call him Baby Yoda.
Yeah,
Baby Yoda.
That's it. Listen, when they named him Grogu, they messed up.
Even the toys are Baby Yoda.
So many people thought he was actually Yoda. Like, I'm like, no, do you not understand the chronological timeline?
Those are you can't help those people.
Yeah, no.
We know, but
there
was like, I think a full 3 weeks where Total like refused to call him Grogu.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, he's Baby Yoda. Obviously, he's not the Yoda, but he's Baby Yoda. And Grogu just doesn't roll off the tongue like Baby Yoda.
I love it. I think Grogu's so cute. I'm sorry.
We have it on tape with the Mandalorian coverage. The second thing about the show, Omni-Man showed how all New Yorkers feel about the New York City MTA just by what he did.
Wow. Is that what we're doing?
Wow.
Yes. Is that your hot take?
I'm team Omni-Man with that. Let's go. Come on. I mean, did anybody see the Spider-Man meme of Tobey Maguire Spider-Man holding on the train, and then he looks ahead and it's Omni-Man holding Mark with the train coming at him?
So
Best meme ever. Yes, crossover.
And it's funny that have come out of this.
No. What's funny about that meme? I'll find it. What's funny about that meme is that Invincible did do a crossover in the comics with Spider-Man, so that's why that meme is so freaking relevant. I loved it. Thank you. But no, I knew kind of what to expect with the show because I had heard about the comic Invincible. I knew what was going to happen. I thought that was always an interesting take. Kudos to Robert Kirkman for creating the series, and I mean, I just love for the fact that we saw where they took it with animation, where I don't think they would have been able to do it with a live action. And I feel like it's introduced more people to this series. And it's got more
I've been telling everyone.
Yeah. And it's got
people who don't watch comics or don't know anything about it. And I mean, it's a great place to start. And it's definitely takes it more graphic.
It also, what I want to open up, it also opens up that it's just more than Marvel and DC that is that makes
exactly
comics.
Yes, and it's also a palette cleanse from the typical superhero stories that we've seen. because the boys did that for us, and I was like, how are you going to be different from the boys? Because we have Marvel, we have DC, now we have the boys. How are you going to be like that complete antithesis from all three? And it really was like, bet, say less.
Listen,
I'm gonna show you exactly how we're gonna do this.
Listen, Homelander, Omni-Man, and US Agent all walk into a bar. What's happening? I don't know.
Omni-Man is
Omni-Man is the only one to walk out.
Omni-Man's walking out. I mean, like,
yeah. There's no. I don't. How do you take this guy out? There's no one. Oh, it's gonna get so good. Oh my god, I can't wait.
Oh, Omni-Man.
Yeah. So so I didn't even know what the hell I was getting myself into with this show. Like, I heard all these things. I remember, I think you guys, Law and Seabass, I think had watched it before I did. I was reading all these articles. I think Doc had said it's really good. And I was like, you know what? It was like 10 o'clock in the morning. I was getting up. I was like, let me just start reading it because it's on Comixology Unlimited. And I started reading it. I'm thinking, where's all the violence? I'm just reading this thing about this kid named Mark growing up, getting his powers. His father has this really cool mustache. I'm feeling Omni-Man. And then all of a sudden you hear about the Guardians of the Globe, aka JLA adjacent. And then you get, and the way the comic does it is it's fucking great.
It built up really well.
Yeah.
Character building is very good.
Each page for that, when all the Guardians die, each page prior is like them in a day in the life or what they're doing. So and what we saw in the show in episode 1 is exactly how it plays out. And then he kills them all. And that's when that shoe dropped for me. I was like, oh, that's what they meant about this show being like really violent. And that was before Ryan Otley took over for the art, because Ryan Otley's art is way more gruesome and graphic as you get further down the line. And so my prediction was, we knew that episodes 1 through 3 dropped, and I thought that the Omni-Man reveal was going to be on episode 3 to kind of give you that cliffhanger hook to want to watch. And I'm watching it I'm watching it, and then I see the Guardians of the Globe happen, and I'm looking, and I'm like, they're gonna fucking do it.
In
the first episode, Omni-Man's about to kill all these dudes. I was like, no. I'm like, really? They're gonna do it? And then
killing is such a light way to put it.
I know, he destroyed them. He obliterated them. It's so much more gruesome in the animation than it is in the comic. Just seeing what he does and how he just smashes Red Flash's head, twists War Woman, chops off Immortal's head, because that's what happens, because he had to do that. But just what he does to all of them, and I was just like, yo, this dude. I was like, I loved it. I was like, I loved every minute of it. I was like, it's an
homage to, I think it made a point very early into show, this is not your typical comic book shit.
Yeah.
It made a point to say, we are about to demolish what you know. Yeah. And that doing it in the end of the first episode just set the entire pace.
Yeah, and what I liked what they did with the show is that they let that mystery of who killed the Guardians be like the story that weaved everything together. And then each of the other episodes kind of having their own little mini arcs, and getting to the point with the Omni-Man reveal where it's kind of like different, kind of the same, but it was just so powerful. Just seeing it happen on screen, seeing what they do in Chicago, because it's not as vivid as it is in the comic. It's just not. You see the destruction and all that, but you're not ready. That train scene was for the show.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Was just for the show. That wasn't.
That wasn't in the comics.
No. There's a lot. So in the comic books, because it takes place, this was done 10, 15, 20 years ago now.
Yeah,
I don't even know.
Yeah, it's like issue 13 or something.
But a lot of the stuff, like PC things, have changed. Certain things they won't say today, like, oh, that's gay, or like, there's a lot of little nuances that does change from the book to making it more relevant to today with the show, and it's definitely more graphic, definitely more gruesome, and they animate it so well.
Listen, all I have is a question: is that what does Red Rush and Prince Oberon have in common?
They got their heads crushed.
Oh my god.
Listen, they both were- I mean,
I was wondering who's Prince Oberyn. Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah.
Game of Thrones. I'm sorry.
Steve,
I
I
was
can't
lost.
say
He's bad
names
with
right.
names.
I'm bad with names.
He's bad with
So
names.
Okay, it's okay. I get it. Yeah, they
It's a dialect. You spend so much time with him. You know who he's talking about.
gotcha. I was a little lost.
I wanna change his Seabass Bonet art to I'm bad with names.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, and to VMAC's point, yeah, they update a lot of stuff. So in the comics, Mark's mom, she's a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah,
She
and they really demolished her character. They made her more. I like that she's a working professional now.
Yeah.
Struggling with you see her downfall also with her dealing with her last 20 years being a lie. It's just it was just so good. It's just really good, and the books it just takes it to another level for me because I'm not gonna wait. I'm not gonna be able to wait. It's just that crazy. I'm just crazy like that.
Yeah.
No,
But
we're
so let's expand it all because we're diving really in on Omni-Man and Mark. What did you guys think of the auxiliary characters that we got? We got
team
teams or the new Guardians of the Globe. You got Cecil, you got Battle Beast, you got the brothers. There was so many other characters.
Battle Beast is a beast. He gives no shits. He just went off and demolished Team and almost killed Mark. And see I gotta remember the series. Okay, now in the series, Omni-Man's in the background, like watching it go down, and I didn't understand why he didn't involve himself. And I guess they decided not to put it in there because it's not something that happens in the books, kind of thing. Because chronologically, it's a little bit different. He's already gone by the time that fight happens. So it was just I don't know.
Kimbo.
What's up, Kimbo?
Hey, Kimbo.
That he got beat up the entire time. Mark, I felt so bad for him. I think Adam
beat up is again. We're using very light terms. There is nothing light about the show.
Time. I think Adam Eve is underdeveloped. She's such a strong character, and she has the potential to do so much more. I want to see where they take her.
I think we're gonna get more of her in season 2 than we did in season 1.
Yes,
I hope so.
I think season 1 was just establishing these side characters that are around Mark, and we got a little backstory for them, and it was Mark's journey. And I think you're right. She was underdeveloped. She was one of my favorite female characters in the series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I liked her more than Mark's girlfriend.
Amber.
Amber's cool. I mean, she's way better here than
she's a better Mary Jane.
Because in the comics, she's a very vanilla, plain Jane, typical superhero girlfriend, blonde haired girl with kind of dealing with shit. Where Amanda here, she's got her own right, what she's about. She's not taking any shit from Mark.
Right.
They made her a person of color and all of this stuff. So I really they just they modernize a lot of the stuff. They gender swapped a couple characters and stuff.
Yeah, the best friend's gay in the show, so they included that. And in the comic book, he's like just an immature jock or like kid, whatever. So there's a lot of little things that was changed, but I think for the better and made it more modern until today's world. So it was just done so well.
Yeah. So what did you guys think of Robot?
I was gonna say,
I love him.
Thank you, because that literally was gonna be Robot. First of all, can we give it up for Zachary Quinto? That man is so good. It's highly underrated.
The voiceovers, that's another thing. Sandra
this whole voice acting cast is
entire
phenomenal.
Cast is so good.
It is disgusting how good they are. The entire cast is stacked. I was looking through how Amazon has the IMDb pops up, and I'm like,
the soundtrack too is so good. It's just
this is top tier.
So
this is between animation, casting, everything has been done so well on the show.
Right,
I gotta hand it to them.
I feel like they went back and they were like, how can we make what was good even better and make it different from anything they've ever seen? And they I think they hit that, and that's that. I'm so excited about this. I'm just really geeking out about it. So sorry.
Let's do.
So I have a point about the voice acting I want to bring up.
Okay.
What the guy who makes things explode? I can't.
Rexplode.
Rexplode.
First of all,
was voiced by Jay from Big Mouth.
I love.
He's in fucking everything.
I know him from the league. That's how I met him. So good.
So either way, I was sitting there, and Rexplode's character was like, oh, they typecasted Jay. Like because Rexplode is Jay. It's
Jay.
An
older version of Jay with superpowers.
And then the thing that because I haven't looked this up because I don't want to spoil the illusion for myself per se, but then they have the younger Rexplode that Robot transfers himself into. Did they use Rexplode's I almost don't want to kill the illusion.
DNA.
Yeah.
Did they use the same voice actor?
Yep.
Did they use Rexplode's?
Yeah, so I think Zachary Quinto voices Robot.
Right.
And I think because I noticed that too, because I was wondering if his body was going to be Zachary Quinto or was going to be the other dude who does it.
No, they definitely use Rexplode.
Larice just saw the first episode.
Yeah, where we are.
Yeah, she just finished. She needs a minute.
Why did you say Michael? Why did I say Michael Bay?
You're not wrong.
He's essentially
not wrong.
He's Michael Bay as a superhero.
She said she needs a minute. She's gonna love this series. Just keep watching. It's just so good.
Larice, if you watch The Boys, you're gonna love this. Like it's.
I enjoy this more than The Boys.
Right? Yeah. That's what. Like if you like The Boys, you're going to love this.
Yeah.
So my point is that I almost couldn't tell as far as it goes, and I tried listening very, very closely to see if there was kind of any difference or anything else, and I was just like, I don't know if this is another voice actor nailing Rexplode's voice with some different tinge on it, or if this is him so the talent was good enough that they made the illusion they were going for, that this younger version of Rexplode is exactly that.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that. I was like, yo, this man, don't give me two villains. And he was like, nah, I'm just here for he literally used the homeboys and was like, all right, I'm taking y'all back to jail. I got my body back. I'm out. I was like, this man's a gangster. This man's a straight up G. I love
Robot's character. I love it.
When he said,
I can't say anything.
When he said the line, what was it, to Monster Girl or something like that, that everyone assumes that, or something like that, about not people assume that I'm not human or something like that, something along those lines, or that I'm only this. And I was like, Robot has got some motives. Because I was like, there is something going on with this character. There's more to him as far as it goes. And that's what I knew. Then when he steps out from the console after he did what he did or whatever, him and Cecil had that interaction after he was pulling puppet strings. I was like,
I thought Cecil was going to be the big dirtbag, and he is. I love Cecil. Cecil's a dirtbag, but he's an honest dirtbag.
It's not. Yeah. It's what you would expect, except he knows he got to get stuff done. It's kind of like you got to be.
Robot? I expected better from you, bro. But I'm not mad at it. I'm also not mad at it.
just jump in, Tone.
No, I can't. I can't.
He literally said no comic spoilers.
I will not give comic spoilers.
You can't say anything.
I ain't saying.
You have to be able to separate it.
I'm sweating.
I plead the fifth.
There's so much. There's so much. Because all of these characters, they come off as side characters, and they end up being they are main pillars. Especially what I think they're going to do with the show, because the comic pulls in a lot of the Image superheroes every once in a while. And I don't think the show's really going to do that. I think it's really going to kind of focus and hone in on the superheroes that they have here. So these characters are going to grow from side characters to these main characters with their own story arcs and own things that we're going to see, and make you question them, because they're all complex in their own way. Robot's really complex. Monster Girl ends up being more than what we see. You get the backstories about who the people are, how strong people are. Adam Eve is really fucking strong.
Yes.
Her power, because no one.
It's almost
she manipulates molecules, matter. Yeah. And you don't, and they joke about it. She's like, yeah, no one really knows what my power is. Rexplode, when they were dating, it was he just thinks pink shit just comes out. She's literally manipulating atoms. And
I feel like she's gonna get the early Wanda treatment, where Wanda, everyone was like, oh, she's a telekinetic or whatever the case is, and then later on we're like, oh, you have no idea how
I mean,
strong you are.
if you don't read the comic books, they wouldn't know, I guess.
Right.
'Cause they didn't engage in that when we first see Wanda in MCU.
I like how in this panel right now you can tell who read the comics. That the two who want to go, like I'm looking at Tony and Val right now.
Yo, they're so get my fingers right.
I'm trying. It's just so much.
Because I'm hearing you guys say things, and I'm like, you have no fucking idea.
It's so good.
And I'm not trying to be that guy because like no one likes that fucking the manga reader. It's like
I'm the manga reader too, though.
But Tony and Val are the manga readers. That's literally you both.
I know. I did that.
For AOT, that's you both.
But I'm not an asshole.
AOT,
I am not a holier than thou type of person.
No,
I like to see it and enjoy it.
For that. I appreciate you.
I'm not finished though, so he's much further along than I am. But I won't give away.
I do not like the ending. Anyway,
I mean, I'm sure the way that they're going with the show, it's so much better. So and it's like gives them an opportunity to revamp things and make it so. I don't want to get too invested in the comic books. I'm gonna read it, yes, but I don't want it to be at be all end all because I know I want to see better in the show. So I'm expecting that.
But what I want to know is
about Kirkman though, because since it's a Robert Kirkman property, he did the same thing we saw with Walking Dead. There were choices he made in the comic that he was like
redo for.
He was like he never agreed when he cut off Rick's hand. He regretted that, and he didn't do that in the show. So I feel like that's what he's gonna bring to Invincible. Is like there were choices in the comic that he's like, you know what, I didn't like that. Let's do this different for the show too. And it's like you're getting a second go around with your property, and that's what I like about Kirkman.
Yeah. So, and I know we got 15 minutes left or whatever, but
we can keep going.
So my question for you guys too is like looking at the main, like the pinnacle of heroes we have here. So you've got Mark on one side, right? Who, and I don't know if I got it because I read it. So like I know this from Mark's personality as very much that right is right and wrong is wrong. And I think you really get that on that last episode when he's dealing with his father. Right. And he's gonna be working with Cecil. And you know that Cecil is like one of those
very
for the gray, but for the greater good. So the whole thing with like D.A. Sinclair and how he was doing all this shit with the kids at the university, and Invincible's thinking, oh, he got rid of him, but in reality, he's using him for the robot human things. So what do you think that? How do you feel that interaction is going to be? What do you think about having those polar opposite characters work together? VMAC, I don't know if you're like really that far in when you deal with that, but like what are you guys thinking about that relationship when those reveals come to play and come out? Because everything always comes out.
I want to jump in on
Oh no, go ahead, Atlas.
I want to jump in on this one.
Yeah.
Because I love the myth of the 37 stories. We have 37 stories that we tell ourselves over and over and over again in humanity and culture. And one character that comes to mind when I think of Cecil or the trope is Jack Sparrow and Will Turner. You can always trust a dishonest man to be dishonest. And I think we're going to see Jack Sparrow and Will Turner mirrored in Mark and Cecil. And we're going to see those same stories.
Very good.
And all it is Jack Sparrow in a suit. That's all Cecil strikes me as.
The thing is, I think Cecil's very upfront about it, though. It's not, he's not covering it. He's like, bro, no, I'm not going to pull this guy out because he's the only chance we're going to take this document. I don't care if
he's like the Danny Ocean. Like, I never lied about being a thief.
Right.
Like he's that mentality where like he was like, I'm not a liar. Like,
yeah. And his mom's like, this is why I hated you. He's like, I hate me too, but I'm gonna do what I gotta do.
Yep. Makes the hard choices.
Yeah.
See, Bess?
I mean, I don't know, man. I'm Cecil. Fuck that guy. Wow.
Yo,
I'm Team Omni, man.
The guy did not like that.
No, Cecil has a teleportation machine, which is really funny because it costs taxpayers billions of dollars to turn it on. Like he makes a comment about it in the comic where he's like, "How many times do you use?" Well, every time I use it, it costs like $7 billion for the taxpayers, and he uses it just like his fucking taxi. It's like really funny.
Listen,
it's hilarious.
I love the creation of Cecil's character. I mean, it was to me, it's like he didn't come off as a Nick Fury knockoff, and like
no, not at all.
No.
Again, it's like in Marvel you have Nick Fury, in DC you have Amanda Waller, and in Invincible we have Cecil, and Cecil just it's like like people said, he sees the gray, he sees in the middle, he has to prepare. And it was like for Omni-Man, before he pulled that trigger, it's like he knew already about Omni-Man.
Yo,
But he's preparing. The thing is that you see him like he doesn't want to face it because he doesn't know how to fix it.
Yeah.
What do you do against him? And he tells Darkhold, what's the demon guy?
Damien Darkblood.
Darkblood.
You know, he's like, dude, I told you to stay out of it. I wouldn't have to do this to you. Like, so now I got to get rid of you just so he don't know I know about him. You know, so it's like,
but like the calculations to do that, because like literally, like it felt like Darkblood could maybe go toe to toe or at least do some with him, and he was like, nah, you're risking way too much for what I got going, and I gotta get you out of here. Like I was like, that's where you're willing to go. Like you know he's in the wrong, but you're not even gonna call him out on it because you can't do anything about it.
right.
Like, are you like? Does that make him a worse person at this point?
But look at all
and does he even care that he's a worse person as a result?
But look at all the plans that he threw at him in that last episode, and it still didn't stop him. It's like, come on.
But I don't think he expected to stop him. A lot of those he threw at him to slow him down.
He even said like Mark is the only way.
Mark is the only way,
Right.
and and Mark's not strong enough
like
to do
how
it.
do you how do you kill a Viltrumite with another Viltrumite?
Yep.
And even then, that's all I can fucking say because there's just so much. There's just so much.
Where I'm up to on, I saw Alan just now.
Oh no, Alan is
dude.
awesome.
I love that character. What's his name? Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alan,
Oh my god!
Oh
It's just
man, Alan
he's
is a
just-
fan favorite. Alan's really
it was
great.
good.
Yeah.
But I where I'm up to, I never mind.
Yeah. I love that you guys are just cutting yourself off.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
you know, and it's what I'm interested in, and I want to get your predictions for the season, for the next couple of seasons too, is how they're going to weave a lot of these storylines because they're not using a lot. Like they have a crap ton of villains in this show in the comic, but they're not using some of them. So there was a villain storyline while they're in high school where like the physics teacher was blowing up kids.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like that was like a thing that was happening, but like it was like an early
Mark
run
had to stop.
that
Yeah.
Mark had to stop. It was like the first case that Mark and Adam Eve had worked in. Maybe they'll do it later. I don't know. Sorry.
That sounds like
Maybe.
a Buffy episode.
Yeah, it was like
It
one of those,
kind of
like,
because
it was a
the
filler
time
episode.
frame this comes out.
Yeah.
This I think was released 2003. So
Yeah.
I mean, what we were into at that time is different from now, but it definitely the chronological effects are completely different from how they release it on the show, and it builds differently in the character. So there's I don't even know if they're going to introduce it. The one with the multiple realities.
Oh, they're bringing him in.
They're bringing him in. Okay. So
Angstrom
there's
leave.
this thing that they didn't even
Levi
talk
will-
about
will be here.
whatsoever.
Yeah, so I think what they're probably going to do, and not to give too much away, so like we're probably going to focus in on the Mauler twins because they are a major group. A major group. They're going to focus in on the Stone guy who's played by Mahershala
Titan.
Ali. Titan. We'll see.
so
Titan was a good
good.
story too.
Yeah, we'll see.
Did
I love
anyone
his
see that
look.
heel turn coming?
Yes. Oh,
That he-
and
that
that
he-
wasn't because I hadn't read it. I actually expected that to happen for some reason.
Really?
Because the way he was treated when he got him the chip, and it was more like without even seeing his face, it was like, all right, I got something coming. And he like planned that out in a way. Like I didn't expect the partner to also be in on him with him. That was a surprise to me.
I think that was the part. I think because like where I was giving him the benefit of the doubt, and I think that the audience, most of us thought because of the daughter that he would get the benefit of the doubt, where he was like, "Yo, I just want out of this. Like I don't want this," and he was like, "Nah, I'll do this, but if I'm the guy."
He didn't
like,
want to be someone's runner boy.
right.
Power begets like it's the whole point was to slag at the power, and how do you take out some get the power to take out who's on top? And he may be more cognizant of the lower people in his position. I think that I want to see where he takes that.
Yeah, true.
So I don't think he would be as cold-hearted. I think it was more about providing for his family and knowing this is his life, and this is how I'm gonna get it. So I'm gonna do what I gotta do.
Yeah. So
Because when he tried to get out, they didn't let him out. He's like, "Oh, word, all
About that.
right."
Yeah.
He's about that life.
he is about that life. So I think last question I guess we've got seasons 2 and season 3 have been confirmed. We know that Omni-Man has left the Earth. We saw some Viltrumites in the history lesson. I will tell you that those are actual characters in the comic. We're very looking forward to seeing them. Especially the old dude. His name is Conquest. That shit is dope. And that's all I'm
telling me stuff I don't know yet.
That's it. You won't even know. His name is Conquest. He's fucking awesome.
Yo, I love when Toad gets excited for shit.
Right. So, what do you guys think what do you predict to happen in this show? Because we have 2 more seasons definitely coming, and we'll start with VMAC. You're going last because you read the book. So, Tom, Atlas.
Can I ask something real quick, Tone? Based on the number of episodes in like the first season we got versus like how much more content we have, how many seasons do you think they're going to give us?
Maybe about 3 or 4.
I've heard like 5 to 7.
Wow.
Because there's it depends on the arcs they cut, because there are some arcs that may or may not make it. There are some definite arcs that will be fully fleshed out and potentially could be 1 to 2 seasons. But yeah, I think I've heard 5 to 7. There's 144 issues, and I think they got to issue 13 in this
around
season.
there, yeah, because this season definitely got to like 14, 15. Because I'm on issue like 20 something, and I just got past where the show completely their storylines covered anyway, because they were again chronologically different. But most of the storylines I just passed.
Yeah, it eventually opens up. Like there's a whole it's no longer just Earth. It just opens up, and then it's kind of like where are they going to pick and choose to do? But some predictions. Atlas.
All right, predictions. I'm getting this whole vibe that an emotionally compromised Viltrumite is not a good thing, and with Omni-Man having flown away from the Earth, he has nowhere to go because the Viltrumite Empire is not going to be sympathetic to what he just did, and so he's either he either has to turn around and go back, or there's something incoming. As far as it goes, like there's someone or something incoming that's going to finish his job. And so that's kind of that's where I'm kind of leaving it and what I'm expecting, like as far as it goes, because you can't fly off and leave post, because Alan's going to take notice, and whoever he works for they already have, as we saw. Yeah. And it's unfinished business. So like that is probably going to be the biggest thing for me. What goes on there? And where does Omni-Man go? Does he run back to the Empire with his tail between his legs and basically suffer being court-martialed kind of thing? Like, no, that doesn't strike me as him. Like, what? Or does he go to
for that?
Yeah, like where does a narcissistic character like that go to resolve this problem? And that's kind of the loop or the hook that's got me. So I also have one more closing meme that I'd like to submit to the council, is just Deku watching, like going, oh yeah, I break something every battle, and then Mark just going, hold my beer, kid. Just hold my beer, kid. Watch this. Sorry,
listen,
I want to get that closing
oh.
statement in it. Yeah, I know. Sorry, I want to get that closing statement in.
That's hilarious.
It's so good. I will say yes to what Atlas said. Like, I think that's a very likely, where's Omni-Man going to go? And I don't know that he can go back empty-handed, there. I will also say, like, I'm looking forward to seeing the reveals with Cecil and, like, what he's working on. Sort of like the Hero League Alliance. I always forget the name of their team, seeing like a lot of those Guardians of the Globe, like seeing what happens with them, because the main guy who got his powers back, that was the most like Samson, dude, that was dope. I was like, are we gonna touch on this? Are we gonna address this? Because your boy got powers back. Like, it wasn't like, oh yeah, like nice. We are all fans of him over here, but
hey Josh.
But getting like going from like I'm powerless to like I got the fucking shit kicked out of me and now I have powers again. How is that dynamic going to work, especially with a team of people who now we have
Young.
Robot, who got young heroes, especially Robot just got his powers back, or just got a body, a true body, and whatnot. And then Monster Girl, whose powers are always like kind of on the fritz. So how is he going to handle that? And then finally, oh man, any predictions? I feel like they're going to try to push Mark and Adam Eve together. I don't know that I want to see it. I don't know that I need to see it. Amber, I do like, but I don't like her for his girlfriend either. Like, I feel like he's just gonna have to, play that single card, bro. Play the field. You don't have to. You don't need these girls,
you
man.
You need that time right now. He can't manage it. He's too young for that.
He can't. And so I think it would make sense for him to be with Adam Eve because she's a hero and gets it too. But that. I don't need to see it. I don't need to see it, and I think they'd be better friends. I think they would be better like confidants in each other. But I feel like they'll end up like pushing some friends with benefits situation at somewhere down the line. But who knows?
Right.
Seabass.
Me? Oh. No, it's gonna be interesting to see the team dynamic for the new Guardians of the Globe going into season 2, because I kind of like how they ended that season with them cleaning the blood off the wall, and like they were cleaning it as a team, which kind of showed like, okay, we're working as a team now. I want to see more in the dynamic of where we're going at with the twins, because I know that there's going to be more to their story, obviously, just by how these guys are acting.
They feel like buff Lex Luthors to me.
Yes, they do. And yes, Battle Beast. I want more Battle Beasts. Just give me more of him just wrecking shit.
I want to see like in some off-world death battle scenario where him and Lobo go head to head, because like that would be an amazing fight.
The world is not ready for that. The universe is not ready. The galaxy is not ready for that. But I mean, predictions is obviously Cecil's gonna be throwing more work at Mark. Omni-Man is just gonna be that boy who's just fucking wrecking shit. And I do want to see how Mark deals with the fact that this dude who he helped now is like the head of that syndicate. I do want to see how that transitions in the show. That's what I want to see. And that's me.
And VMAC.
Well, I'm not done with the series yet. So the things that I would think, like, you touched on a good point where what happens with Omni-Man now. You run off, you can't go back home. You come back, you have to face possibly taking over and killing your son. And whether or not he really cares is still under debate. I think he may now find himself in a path where he would defend his son. I would want to see him come back when Viltrumite is like, nah, we're not letting go of Earth, and that's not, you kind of messing up our reputation, and maybe he'll come and step in against Viltrumite and struggle his own internal aspect. I don't know, maybe that could possibly happen. I doubt it, but it's a stretch. I also would like to see, I want to see more stronger characters. I mean, I like Rexplode. I just don't see him really beating anyone. I like he's funny, his comic relief. It's like a Gambit. But I don't know. He's not.
Gambit's way stronger.
Absolutely. That's the problem. I want to see stronger characters. Like Guardians of the Globe, the original team was an outrageous team.
Yeah.
And you have inducted the team mostly, and some extras, because Robot did pick this group. I'd like to see them bring in someone who can contend with stronger characters. I want to see, someone I can be like, okay, this could be some competition, something that can compete.
Yeah.
We'll see how that.
If this is the B team, they are in a fucking
right. And there's so many other teams apparently that they didn't really explore. I mean, I like that they did the tryout things. But they didn't really explore other characters as much as they could. So I'd like to see more of that in this universe. We'll see what happens. I mean, I'm really excited. It's something brand new I know nothing about. So it sounds, it's fun. It's fun that I actually I like it because it's good.
It's been a while since we.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
wow.
Because I know so many, like Marvel. I know DC. I know my comic books, except Image, outside of Wildcat, Spawn, and a little bit of Savage Dragon because they had a '90s cartoon. But I knew but didn't know of this character and this universe. So it's exciting.
I think Invincible came later years because after a lot of those guys left, like Jim Lee left to DC and they purchased all his properties.
Mm-hmm.
And then Eric Larson was just like, we didn't hear too much from Savage Dragon for a while, but it's still going in like the core book for Image. Invincible, I think, came out after Kirkman dropped Walking Dead, and they gave him more, room to run with stuff. So yeah, it's during its run, like I said, what was pretty dope was that what legitimized even more for me with Invincible is the fact that they had Invincible crossover into a Marvel comic, into Marvel in the Marvel team up books, which was something that you always saw a Marvel hero team up with another Marvel hero, but there was like, oh, we're gonna have Spider-Man team up with Invincible, and it kind of still was following his story of something that was going on in his book, and I thought that was so dope, and that's when I was like, oh, let me learn more about this character, and I was just like, dude, they have a really great, and the fact that now we had as an animation, and hoping like this brings more people to enjoy it, where we can maybe get a live action someday with maybe the same.
I wouldn't want to see it as a live action. I don't think they would do it justice.
Yeah,
agreed.
Yeah, I think the Boys works live action because they adapted it, and like the violence and the gratuitousness comes from like the practical effects taken from the heroes, but also like the grittiness of the Boys, where this is, especially with showing Invincible and how high powered he is, can look really
cheesy.
super CGI. It would just be CGI the whole time.
Jupiter Legacy, you guys, when you guys, if you watch it, I've only seen one episode. It's similar in that sense where it doesn't deliver the same excitement. It seems a little cheesy, but it's a well done enough show for Netflix. But it would give me that kind of feel of live action, and I don't want to see it. I don't want to see that for Invincible anyway.
Gotcha.
And I think taking these properties and taking these obscure comics, or not main big two comics, and throwing them into animation format versus live action just lets us consume them more and not worry about some of the other pieces of value. Like we all love a good DC animated movie, so getting these other comics as animations, I think, as animated series, adult animated series, is I think just a better for all of us as fans who consume all this content.
We don't like the Killing Joke.
We don't talk. The Killing Joke didn't exist. It's just a comic.
It's a single story line. I mean, what's wrong with the Killing Joke?
The animation.
It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It never happened. It's a pipe dream that the Killing Joke would be a fantastic animated movie, but it's too short to be a good animated movie. So it is a fantastic comic.
Yes, because you make bad choices with Batgirl.
Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, we're gonna wrap up.
So, yes, I'm super excited for what Invincible seasons 2 and 3 and beyond bring into play, and seeing storylines that I've read and seeing them come to life, characters that I cannot wait to see and who they cast as their voice actors, and for all of you to meet and to see the gruesomeness of what Ryan Ottley has done on paper, on live action. All I'm going to leave you all with this is that Viltrumites do not play.
They don't.
So thank you all for joining us today. Thank you, Atlas. Thank you, VMAC.
Thank you. Thank you, Tommy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tommy.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you for being with us
awesome.
for 2 hours for an extra long episode of Nerds Around that Seabass did not host. And we will see you guys. We're going live tomorrow?
Yeah, we're going live tomorrow. So we are going live tomorrow. Oh, and this is going to be a fun one. We are going to be with Gia's for Geek. They're coming on the show. We are going to have a fun episode, shots for shots. It's 5 shots of Tony and Sean-Luc answering questions with me and Charlie's livers on the line. So we're taking shots. So Tony, you better get all them questions right. Law will be hosting, and Law's putting those questions together. So if you get anything wrong, we know who to blame.
What? Why do I?
I don't even know. I don't even know
how that works.
Anyway,
it works perfect. Also, too, guys, Follow our great guests in the links below. The links are
Yes.
in the description. Follow Thomas Tusano, aka Atlas. Check out his wood carving. Check out VMAC's link on Instagram for V Creates. He does some awesome, amazing work. We may see her do some Invincible fan art. I don't know. I'm waiting for her to do an Omni-Man. And
A word?
And check.
I guess I will. I
threw it
guess
out
I
there.
will. I guess I will. You just put me on the spot.
I did.
I'll probably,
Listen,
I'll probably
Let's
work on that.
go.
Girl, you got skill. We love your artwork. And yes,
Thank
I
you,
did.
guys. Thank you.
And finally, so just put it out there too. Check out our DM Tommy. He was on earlier talking about the Dungeons and Dragons. If you guys have been tuning in, make sure you check out the links for the free comic Deadplanet, as well as the 4 digital art pieces that I put there in the Dropbox. Those links are in the description. This is to celebrate the fact that we have 200 subscribers. Now let's get the push to 500 subscribers because nerds, we are growing. That's what we want to do. We want to grow with you. We want to entertain you, and we want to bring great guests like VMAC and Thomas Tusano, aka Atlas, back to show off their stuff. And that's about it. Yes, that's been Nerds.
All
You guys have
right.
anything else you want to add or get them rolling?
That's it. That's
We're
it.
good, man.
Peace.